Hey guys, I'm back. I told you I would be. So today I'm doing a pretty horrible task. It's only my second time doing it. They did not exist the last time I was playing. Jadinkos. Now I can only do the babies because of my Slayer level, but they still assign them to me. They're a horrible, horrible task. Next to no drops. It's annoying. All these root things are in the way. It's out of the way. There's no real quick way to get here. The hell is that? That's noted. Oh, I guess they do drop noted herbs. I forgot. They only drop like one of them. I'm not even certain I'm going to even loot them. We'll see. I guess maybe I will. I don't know. I'm kind of a cheapskate. To start the video, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell y'all how I plan on doing the content on my channel. I'm gonna do it a lot similar to the way I used to, where I just go out and I do something and I just talk to you guys and keep you guys busy while you play. You don't even necessarily have to even watch. It's more like a podcast, um, but with video content that could potentially be useful. I don't know if any of you guys listen to podcasts. That's actually an interesting topic for me to talk about someday. Um, but no, I'm just gonna, just do whatever I would normally do, but talk to you guys while I do it. Maybe ask questions, answer questions if there's something I do know. I know that I wanted to, right off the start, I want to thank Bloomfall, the a player, for donating 5 mil, which is a huge sum of money to donate. He actually gave that to my wife to help her get started playing. That was super awesome. It's going to make it a lot easier for her to play the game. Like I told him, I don't know if you guys remember when you first started playing, but getting that first mill in particular is just ridiculously difficult. I don't know if it is anymore. I don't know how much these seats are worth. I don't know which ones I'm supposed to be picking up. I'm too lazy to look, so we're going to pick them all up, potentially. I don't know. Kind of lazy. Really don't know if I'm going to. But yeah, that first mill is so hard to get. You really have to just, or had to, you really had to just grind something out, and it's my understanding that the money making is a lot faster now than it used to be. The market's really inflated on certain things, and making a mill is a lot faster now than it used to be. I remember way back when I used to, on my first account, I would craft things and smith things and sell them to a general store for the majority of my money early on. Their Grand Exchange didn't exist back then. Um, you had to like go to World One and all that to trade. But a lot of my early money came from selling to a general store, which is probably so foreign sounding to a lot of the newer players. Um, I have a list of topics that I'm gonna talk about in these videos, and I'll cover them as I cover them. Some videos might get more than one topic. Um, but if you guys have any suggestions for topics, feel free to message them to me in game, leave them in a comment, PM them to me, whatever. They will get talked about. I'm definitely not a big guy on YouTube. I don't really get that many messages. So I'm sure I'll be able to reply to all of them. My friends chat is on right now. I'm not getting bombarded at all. So I'm sure I'll be able to talk about anything that anyone sends me. But the first thing I did want to bring up, like I said, and I'm going to bring it up again, was Bloomfall being completely awesome and donating 5 mil. That's really cool. I told him to give it to my wife. While I'm pretty broke and I'm struggling to afford gear at my level, I can at least do Slayer. I've got means to make money. She doesn't. So he was originally going to give it to me, and I said give it to my wife. That would help her a lot more than it's going to help me. You see my cash stack's only at 13 mil right now. I just bought armadillos and I'm reselling it. I was going to try ranged, talked myself out of it. Like, I don't know. when I went and did one task with ranged, and it felt really weak in comparison. I know that my range level was only 88, but it wasn't the damage that felt weak, it was just the survivability of it. You know, with melee, I have, just, I kill things much faster. I have the uh, SGS um, to heal me, and it also gives me prayer, which I should probably turn on. Um, I don't know. I feel like I can play with my style a lot easier with melee than I can with range, and I want to get 99 range eventually, but I think that's probably something further in the future than now. So I'm reselling that. I bought ranger boots and everything. I'm just gonna get rid of all of that. I ended up asking some really helpful people. That's what I think. That's what this message here is about. I ended up asking some people about ranged and what was the best stuff, and went out and bought some armadillos. My understanding is it's the most affordable, not like ridiculously expensive ranged armor that you can use that doesn't degrade. I'm really against degrading armor. I guess I used to use Guthans back in the day because of how useful it was, but like that's the only armor that degrades that I've ever used. I mean, I've owned all the other stuff, Darix or whatever. I mean, I used to own that for fight pits. We'd all go out and have fun with fight pits, but I don't know. Never really been big on degrading. I don't know what your guys' opinion is on degrading gear. Just not been for me. I don't like to have to go out. It adds another step to doing Slayer. I have to go to Bob's or go to someone's house who has a high uh, construction or smithing level or whatever the requirement was. And I have to heal stuff, and I'd rather just go and do this mindlessly, watch Netflix. Speaking of Netflix, that's actually one of the topics that I wrote down. I was curious what you guys do to entertain yourselves while you play. I personally watch Netflix. It's one of my big things I do when I play. I don't even really pay attention. Like right now, I'm really kind of zoned out. I'm not really even paying attention to what I'm doing. It's such an easy task. I kind of go into like I don't know, like another world. I'm sure all the gamers here know what I'm talking about. Like where you're totally paying attention, like all things considered, but you're really not. You're kind of zoned out. You don't really understand what's going on. If you were suddenly attacked for a big number, you'd pop out of it and you would notice, but you kind of zone out. And you almost play better that way. I play a lot of video games that way. I used to raid that way in WoW, where I just kind of zoned out. But I was curious what you guys do for fun to entertain you. Let's face it, this game is pretty boring. It's very grindy, but that's what makes it good. Everything that most people complain about this game is the things that I do like about it. That's my number one thing that I like about this game. So I was curious, what shows do you guys watch if you watch TV? What kind of music do you listen to if you're gonna listen to music? Personally, I just started watching what's it called? Orange is the New Black. I just started watching that. I'm on episode 5 or something like that now. And I'm really, really liking it. I loved Weeds, so this is right up my alley. It's a lot like Weeds. The same person that directed or wrote or I don't know what with Weeds is associated with this shows too. It's very similar in style. There is a lot of nudity though, so I will say if anyone's underaged, I don't know what your country's policy is on that. I've never really had a strong stance against kids seeing nudity. I've been more against. I've never understood why on TV someone can be shown them. You can turn on the TV and see someone being decapitated in a movie, but they can't show a nipple. Like, holy shit, it's a fucking nipple, you know? I've never really understood that mentality and treating kids that way. Like, it's a nipple. And I think that all you end up doing when you shelter kids from sexuality is you make them really awkward. And they put sex on a pedestal. And you make them feel... you demonize sex and make them feel like it's a bad thing. And you end up getting, like, I have a friend who I won't name here, um, whose parents treated sex that way. And he now, oh, I mean, he went and moved to another state for 4 years, um, where he was effectively in a gay sex cult. It was a leather club, I think is what they call it. It's like a bondage club, and um, but it was almost all men, and they'd just get together and fucking have sex and stuff. And if it's mostly men, you can kind of do some math there and figure out there's probably a lot of gay sex going on, which is nothing wrong with. It's more about the fact that, like, his parents were so hardcore devout Christian, and they really forced him into that. But they destroyed him mentally and made him demonize sex, and he put it in a dark dungeon place. And because of that, that's where he feels sex belongs, and he ends up searching out a dark place for sex. And that's what he found. So, how did I get there? How did I even get here on this topic? Where the hell am I? I obviously am going to need some more practice on just talking to myself again. I haven't really done this in a while. But, that's that. I wanted to ask about Netflix or whatever you guys do to entertain yourself. And let's say excrement. What is that item called? Okay. I literally thought it was just... That's literally gross. So, what should I talk about next video? Sound off and let me know who all's back. Let me know if you're somehow new. I don't know how anybody would find me that was new yet with the way YouTube works. Let me know who all's back. And please, message me in game. Let me know if you're still playing. If you're not playing, I really, really suggest to check it out. I might do a whole video just about my new opinions on the game. It might be something that deserves its own video. But please check the game out. The evolution of combat is not as bad as we thought it was. It's a lot better now. Revolution is awesome. I totally can stand by Revolution. That's what I'm doing right now. It does everything for me automatically, except for the big attacks, and I only use big attacks every so often anyway. It works really nice. It flows really nice. It feels just like the old game, but now I kill things faster. I will say that there's a lot less strategy to the game now. And younger players and newer players who haven't really ventured into other games very much might not understand that. But there is a lot less strategy now. What I mean by that is, in this game, you used to have to pay attention to your inventory a lot more than you have to. Like, you don't need anything anymore. Food, I literally can solo melee with a whip and a dragon shield. Really in optimal gear. I can solo frost wyverns or wyverns without food. Without any food at all. I can do that. Just because of how overpowered these skills are. In particular, the number one offender here is Regenerate. Regenerate is so broken and so overpowered. You do not need food for 90% of the Slayer tasks now. And that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that the game has gotten that easy. The game is a lot easier now. So I might have to start looking into bosses and stuff. Stuff I normally avoided because I'm a solo player. I might have to look into, like, soloing bosses or something. And see if maybe that's something I can do to get the difficulty that I so often would want. But this is probably close to the end of a video. It's been pretty long. I'm definitely going to be doing these whenever I do not have company. I'm a very busy person, so I always have company. But I'm definitely going to be doing these as often as I can. I'm going to shoot for every day that I do not have company. This is going to be my goal. So think about what I've said and leave me some comments below and reply to me. That's how I'd like this to go. I'd like to talk to you guys about the topics in the comments and in game, and get your replies. I like this to be a back and forth thing. So, I think I used to say something along the lines of take care, everybody, and remember, RuneScape is not something to be ashamed of, I believe is what it was. So, let's just go ahead and say that, whatever I just said, and I'll go research what it is I used to say. So, take care, everybody, and remember, RuneScape is not something to be ashamed of.